Hey guys, and welcome to another live stream here on the Super Yacht Captain YouTube channel. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be answering your questions. If you want a guaranteed answer, do check out the super chat. But in the meantime, while waiting for the questions to come in, if you haven't done already, go and check out the Super Yacht Captain Instagram account, and we also have the Super Yacht Captain Facebook page. For those of you that are new, my name is Tristan and I run a super yacht called AWOL. It's a 122-foot San Lorenzo, and I run the yacht with a total of 8 guests, so 8 crew, and we're a chartered vessel based in the Mediterranean, predominantly Western Med. Then we're hoping to be launched relatively soon. We still don't know what's happening with the boat and with the whole coronavirus thing, but we're staying positive. So guys, do send in your questions and I'll be happy to answer. Okay, first question here from Thunder LP. How long it take to become a captain? So Thunder, it really depends on what kind of captain you're talking about, what license you're looking to get. It depends on the vessel that you're working on, the amount of sea time that you can get. But I would say in order to become a captain from zero to a vessel like AWOL, you're probably looking at anywhere between 8 and 12 years. Hi Tristan, Jiv and James, nice to hear from you again. Hey Joby, thank you very much. Colin said, how many tickets have been sold for the week in the Mediterranean? I think at the moment we've sold just over 2,000 tickets. So guys, if you don't know what Colin is talking about, we're offering you the opportunity to win an all-inclusive vacation on board Motor Yacht AWOL. That includes your flights, that includes all the fuel costs, food, drink, berthing costs, everything. All you need to do is make sure you have the passports and the visas to get to Europe. And then we will cover also the flights for you and 5 of your guests, so 6 of you in total. So this is from Bounty Killer 78. Why are you in France? Because the boat is in lockdown in Italy at the moment, and we have a house in France. That is why. Christopher Olsen's book is back. Hi, Christopher. So Christopher, for those that know, he works for Axopar. Axopar is our chase boat. And Christopher, good to have you with us again. This is from Philip. Hi Tristan, when does the double season vessel usually head back to the Caribbean? Usually you want to go after the hurricane season, so like November, December time, most yachts seem to cross over to the Caribbean. And then we got, this is from Thomas. Love the vlog, watch as much as I can. Thank you, Thomas. Mr. Patron, have you ever thought about to be a cruise liner captain? I haven't actually. It's never really appealed to me. I really enjoy working on the yachts. It's a very different career to being a captain on a cruise ship. Okay guys, throw in your questions. Ronnie Wilson, Tristan, what is the furthest you have travelled on AWOL and what is the longest range? So the range on AWOL is up to 1,500, 18 to probably around 2,000 miles. And the areas that we've cruised in, we've done, let's think now, we've done Spain, we've done the Balearic Islands, we've done France, Italy, Corsica, Sardinia, we've done Sicily, the Messina Straits, we've done Montenegro and Croatia. So that's what we've done for now. Etrit, I would like to know how big is yacht provisioning business and free duty fuel of yachts. So we use yacht provisioning companies all over the Mediterranean. We use multiple fuel companies. We have one central fuel company that organizes it all for us. So it's a relatively big business. The only thing I would say is because it's seasonal, really, because then in the winter, the yachts are tending to go to the supermarket, not using provisioning companies, and obviously not refueling, because in the winter, when the yachts that are staying here in the Med tend to not be used and stay in port or out of the water, like in our case. This is T1 International. Hi, Tristan from Genoa. Hello there. I'm a student, 15, at an international school here and would like to go to university in Southampton in yacht design, and I would like to get some hand-on experience on a yacht. That sounds awesome, T1. I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope you get your hands-on experience. I'm sure at the moment it's going to be very difficult, but once this whole pandemic is over, then hopefully you can find some experience on a yacht. Do you see Alfa Nero often? How does that yacht compare to the newest super yachts being made today? Gib, I have seen Alfa Nero a few times. I can't compare it to other super yachts because I've never been on board, working on Alfa Nero. I've never seen the engine room, so I can't really comment on that. Again, a lot of people do ask me, guys, what my opinions on certain boat brands. The truth is, I won't give my opinion unless I've physically been on board. I've seen how they've been built, and I've done the sea trials. How do you enter for the vacation? That's from Thomas. So Thomas, just look at the link in the description, the raffle link, and then just follow the instructions. It's really simple. Andy Scott, hello. Nice to see you and not miss you this time. Hey Andy, thank you for joining us. Marcus has said, hi Tristan, can you tell us a bit more about the difference between motor and sailing super yachts in terms of required training, life of the employees, cost of ownership, comfort, equipment? Marcus, the truth is I can't give you the answer. I have no experience with sailing yachts. I don't have any knowledge or experience with sailing yachts. All my experience is done with motor yachts, so I can't give you a comparison. If you're looking for an answer like that, what I suggest is you contact the crew agencies and ask them for a bit of guidance. So Andy Scott has asked, I missed asking this last time. I work in private aviation. It's female dominated in the cabin, seems to be in yachting too. Is there a place for males in the interior departments on yachts? So Andy, you are correct. It does seem that within the industry, both super yachts and aviation, that the interior departments are female dominated. But I do know of a number of male, chief stewards and also butlers on the larger yachts. Rohan here. Hey Tristan from Byron Bay, Australia. Hey Rohan. Antoine, what would be your advice on how to get into yachting on the engineering department? So Antoine, my advice would be, if you have no experience, you'll need to get as a minimum your STCW 2010 basic safety training, ENG1, and your AEC, which is your approved engine course. From there, you ideally want to get on a yacht as a deckhand, for a year or two. And with the AEC, they might let you be deckhand with the possibility of assisting the engineer. From there, you gain your experience, you get more sea time, and then you go for the bigger licenses. So that's my advice. Hi Tristan, are there any areas of AWOL that you haven't shown us yet? I don't think so. I think I've showed you guys everything on board. Showed you all the cabins, engineering, showed the forward technical area, boiler room, crew cabins, under the bilges. Yeah, no, I've showed you guys everything. So look here, just 1 second, guys. Okay, next question. Joe Toole, hello from Massachusetts. Hey Joe, thank you for joining us. Ralph has asked when we'll have the results of the raffle tickets. So Ralph, the results of the raffle will be announced by the raffle company, which is a third-party independent company, once we've sold the tickets. Here we go. What is the asking price for AWOL? At the moment, the asking price is 8.9 million euros. What license does the engineer hold? So on AWOL, the minimal license requirement is a Y3. And what schedule do they have? The engineer schedule varies depending on what the vessel's doing, whether we are stopped in port or whether we're cruising or whether we're doing shipyard, so it varies. Blue Ferrari 458. Are charter guests regular folks? Does everyone expect exotic 5-star formal meals or many just chill, relax, not so fussy? We like 5-star service, but our guests so high maintenance. The truth is, the guests when they come on board, they normally would want, many courses, these, Michelin star meals. But after a day or two, it gets a bit too much, and then sometimes they just want a simple salad or just like a burger or a bowl of pasta. At the end of the day, these are still human, and it's nice to have occasionally a very special meal. But most of the time, they're quite relaxed and just want to have light lunches. And in the dinners, we do something a bit more special. And every guest, it varies. But most of the guests we have on board, they are financially successful, but they're just normal people, really. We're very fortunate. The guests we do have are down to earth, normal people that have just been successful in their businesses. What is the yacht you love to work on? Well, there's only one yacht I love to work on. That's AWOL, no shadow of a doubt. G'day from Fremantle, Australia. What's the most difficult port to visit in the Med? I'm guessing, do you mean the hardest to get into? So during the high season, there's a number of ports that tend to be very hard to get into. Those are probably mostly Saint-Tropez and Capri. Salute from Egypt, from Malik. Hey Malik. Popden 289. Hi from Montreal, Quebec. Thank you for joining us. Hi from the UK. If there are any aspiring yacht crew out there, you have any questions about getting into the industry, please do let me know. Hi Tristan from Belgium. How long does it take to sell a yacht like AWOL? Good question, Rudy. It can take a month or it can take 10 years. You just never know. It depends on the demand. It's very hard to say, and also it depends on the price. I'm sorry, Likugos. Great job, Tristan. Love the channel. My question is, when an owner or a charter guest have a dog, where does the pet do his business? I couldn't tell you because we don't allow any pets on board. We've never allowed pets on board. So you have to ask crew members that do allow pets on board. I'm guessing they tape down newspapers in certain areas. That would be my guess. Or more than likely, they might, if they're at anchor, they'll take the dog to shore and take it for a walk. MJ Strauss, hi Tristan. As a greenie, at what point would it be too late to go over to the Med, or would you advise to wait it out to go to the Caribbean? This is a very good question to all yacht crew or aspiring yacht crew greenies looking to work the truth is, at the moment, all of us within the industry, we don't know what's going to happen this season. What we do know is the Monaco Grand Prix and the Classic Grand Prix is cancelled. The Cannes Film Festival, I think, is cancelled or postponed. So already in May is really when the season starts. That's our first month of busy charters. That month is already gone. So the truth is, it's going to be difficult, I think, to find work, because at the same time, I do know of a lot of crew that have lost their jobs from the yacht management companies and the owners. So those same crew will be looking for work when the industry does pick up again. So it's, I don't want to say do this or do that. But I think if it was me personally, I would just hold back and just wait. Especially, if you're a South African crew member, I do know the exchange rate from the rand to the euro it's like 19 now. So it's going to cost you a lot more money to come to Europe. So my advice would be just to wait before you come over to find a job. Once all the restrictions have been lifted, the ports are open again, the industry will come back to life. But what we don't know is when that's going to happen. Hi, are you hoping to go to Monaco? No, Neil, as I just said, the Monaco Grand Prix is cancelled this year. It's not happening. When was AWOL built? AWOL was delivered in 2009, and the first owner of AWOL was Mr. Piero Ferrari. And if you don't know who that is Enzo Ferrari's son from the car makers Ferrari. He built it in 2009 with San Lorenzo, and he owned it for a period of time. And then from there, it was sold to another gentleman, a Swiss gentleman, and then my boss bought it off him. So guys, just remember, if you want your questions to be answered guaranteed, then do check out the super chat. Christopher Hodson, hi Tristan, I'm loving these live chats. Thank you, Christopher. Rowan has asked, hey Tristan, what qualifications would you recommend to get if I want to work on a yacht? Rowan, it depends what you want to do. Do you want to go down the deck route or do you want to go down the engineering route? If you're a greenie, you'll need to get your, as I mentioned earlier, your basic safety training done, your ENG1. And if you're going to be going down the deck route, I would suggest powerboat level 2. And if you can afford it, get your yacht master offshore. If you want to go down the engineering department, the same 2 qualifications and then your AEC. Do you have reservations for this difficult season? We have a number of bookings which were booked before the whole, COVID-19. And so at the moment we have 3. So it's a bit unsure at the moment. And that was from Reynaldo Fernandez. Thunder LP, how much do you earn as a captain? As I mentioned on my last live chat, I'm not going to discuss my salary. But if you're interested to see how much captains get paid, I suggest going on to either YPI or Campers and Nicholson's, one of the leading yacht agents, and they will have a guideline as to salaries. Why do you think we're not seeing lots of hybrid super yachts yet? Garfield, the truth is they are coming. Watch what's happening in this next 5 to 10 years. The big super yacht builders have made some big announcements, especially during the Monaco Yacht Show last year. And these ships take years and years to build. So just watch what's happening in the next 5 to 10 years. There's going to be a lot more hybrid yachts, I guarantee you. What frustrates you the most about AWOL? What frustrates me the most about AWOL? Well, I would say on the bridge during the summer months, even with the air conditioning, it gets really, really hot on the bridge because we have the tinted glass coming down at an angle, and it basically, we have the sun beating down all day, and it works as a radiator, so it's always really warm in the bridge, even with the air conditioning units. Roberto, would you like to be the captain of a yacht like Dilbar or Eclipse? Um, Roberto, as I've said multiple times on live, on live chats and on the vlogs, for me, it's never been about the size of the boat. For me, I've said this multiple times, and it's always been about the people. And I'm very fortunate that we have great people that we work with, and I've got a great boss that I work for. I'm very happy where I am at the moment. If he decides to then move up to, a slightly bigger boat, I will stay with him, but it's about the people. Malik, hi Tristan, can you recommend a place to get courses to be a deckhand? So Malik, all I can do is recommend where I did my training, and I did my training at Blue Water in Antibes in France. I was very happy with all the courses, and I was with them, off and on over a number of years, getting bigger and bigger qualifications. So just check out Blue Water Training in Antibes, and yeah, just say that Tristan from the Super Yacht Captain recommended it, and they'll help you along the way. Just for full disclosure, I don't get any kickbacks or any benefits from recommending Blue Water, just so everybody knows. Why did it do that? It keeps jumping. Ronnie Thompson, how much does it cost a week on board? So you talking about the charter rates? So a charter rate for AWOL high season is 135,000 euros. But then on top of that, you have to pay for the VAT, and then you got to cover the costs of the running costs, so fuel, berthing fee, all the food. You're going to have to cover costs that will include the gratuities for the crew, and yeah, so 135. So yeah, maybe 220 in total. Just remember, guys, if you want some guaranteed answers, please send your questions into super chat. Super chat. Dennis has said, if AWOL is sold, do you stay with it? It depends. If my boss now buys a new boat, I will move with the boss. Colin Cassidy, I'm starting a yacht charter company. What are all the jobs on a yacht, and what do they do? Colin, I think you asked me the exact same question on the last live chat, and I think I answered it. So I suggest going back to the last live chat I did 2 days ago. Thanks a lot for the answer. Antoine, thanks a lot for the answer. Antoine, you're welcome. Ronnie, hello from Denmark. Hello, Ronnie, welcome. Jerry, can you bring a small dog on AWOL? No, you can't. We don't accept any pets on board, I'm afraid. There are a number of yachts out there that they do, but we do not. Hello from Sweden. Which sea would you like to travel around if you could choose? I've always had a fascination to go and visit the fjords of Norway, and up into the North Sea there. This question is from Marcus. How are super yachts protected against piracy? I mean, given that we see a massive economic downturn worldwide, now such criminal activities might be on the rise in some parts of the world again. So, Mark, it's quite interesting you asked that question. We're releasing a video on Tuesday. For some of you that may know, we have a segment called Crew Stories, and we have Jared Watney on the channel telling his story how he was chased by pirates off the east coast of Africa. So every yacht is different. You'll find most yachts will not discuss what their security plans. But what they tend to do is in certain areas which are known for piracy, they'll go in convoy with naval ships, and in some cases they'll bring security teams on board. Joe B, 8.9 million euro is a bargain. There has just been a 10 million euro paint job. Yeah, it is a bargain at 8.9 million euros, Joe, but I don't know where you got the 10 million euro paint job from. Maybe you mean $1 million paint job. Because remember, currencies are different, huh? Neil has said, AWOL is a stunning looking yacht. Thank you, Neil. I couldn't agree with you more. I think AWOL is timeless, but that's just my personal opinion. Remember, guys, any guarantee questions, check out these super chats. Do you protect AWOL from piracy? How do you protect AWOL from piracy? Colin, I can't answer that because that is part of our security plan. We don't share those information with anybody apart from the crew and the management companies and our flag state. What is a normal to generous tip rate on normal week charter? So tips, it really does vary, but we say it starts at 10% and it can go anywhere up to 20%. In some cases, I've heard people leaving 30%, but it really depends how happy the client is. And we find that the clients that leave a bigger tip tend to come back the following year because they're really happy with the service. And also the crew will work harder. Well, not harder, the crew are more motivated the following year because they have an incentive to be. Have you ever noticed little design flaws in yachts? Do you report them or have fixed them yourselves? Every yacht has a design flaw. There's no such thing as a perfect yacht. Over the years, the captain and the crews, we repair it, we make modifications. But the truth is, it's very difficult to design a yacht and foresee all the negatives until you're actually physically using it for a period of time. You're not really going to know where those flaws are. So that's my answer for that. Who is your engineer? Slavin. Go and check out the engineering videos on the channel and you'll meet Slavin. Or I'll tell you what, he did the refueling video. What was it called? Refueling a super yacht. So check that out. And then Slavin, he's on that video. Don Shaw. Hey, Don. Good morning, Captain Tristan. Hey, Don. So Don's been a follower of the channel for a long time. Don, really appreciate your support. You must have been following the channel since the beginning, I guess. Slippery. I have a sports cruiser, 31 foot. Very nice. I have experience on the waterways around me, approximately 6 years at a minimum. What would be advisable to do coastal cruising in the UK? I'm guessing you're meaning licenses. So I guess you get your powerboat level 2 or your day skipper. That'll probably do it. And let's check out all the local. The best thing to do, what I find in cruising in certain areas, is speak to the local harbour masters and speak to the local captains, maybe like the ferry boat captains, the fishermen. Just talk to them because most of the time they're happy to talk to you and give you information, and they know the waters better than anybody. Hayden Punch, hi Tristan, you've inspired me to further follow my dream of becoming a super yacht captain. I'm 16 years old and looking to getting a job at Marina Marbella. I've already got about 4 years motor yacht experience. Hayden, yeah, thank you very much. That's where I started my career at Marina Marbella in Spain, and I started that 18 years ago. Can you believe that? I was the same age as you. Hayden, do you have any advice how to do so? Hayden, what I did, I walked into the office at Marina Marbella in the shipyard there, and I said, I'm interested in working for you for the summer. Do you have anything available for me? And they said yes. So you might be lucky, you might not be so lucky, but if you don't ask, you don't get. So just go into the office and ask. Andy Scott, does chef put crew catering food in with provisionings for guests or run a separate budget? So Andy, good question. So we have a separate budget for the crew, and then we have the charter guest budget. So it's completely separated. The chef will cook meals for the crew independent to the meals for the guests. Amanda Ashton is back. Hello, Amanda. You join us on all our live chats. Thank you very much. So Amanda said most Western Med and European marinas are closed. Yep, at the moment. Here in Portugal, they are closed except for fuel and emergency refuge. Yeah, it's the same here, Amanda. All the ports in the south of France and Italy are also closed. By ports, I mean for yachts. The commercial ports are open, so the big ships, like the cargo ships, can still enter and leave port. So guys, remember, you got this guaranteed question, and then check out the super chat. Justin Orr, hello, hey Justin. LR gang, hello Tristan. I am in maritime school. I'm learning for OOF. I'm guessing you mean OW 3000 G10. How would you suggest I start in yachting? So LR gang, I'm guessing you're doing OW 3000 yacht. So if you're doing that, you should already be in yachting. Is that right? Let me know. Otherwise, again, crew agencies. Join the crew agencies. Just go into Google and type in super yacht crew agencies. There's a bunch of them, and then they'll give you advice along the way. Don Shaw is just here to listen to the questions and answers. Cheers, Don. Da, da, da. Paul Sweeney, do you still get my email jokes? Paul, I'm not sure what you mean by that. In a normal year, does AWOL come close to covering expenses? It does, Glenn. Good question. This is from Glenn Ashmore. Last year, we did exceptionally well on charters, and we did cover the costs. But this year, it would appear that we're going to be, not covering the costs. So then that kind of reflects last year as well, unfortunately. Afternoon, Tristan and Jiv. Where's Jiv? I don't see Jiv here. It's just me. Do you guys see this as a silhouette of Jiv there? Hope you're both well. Season starts in May with the virus. Will this affect this year's chart? Yes, it will. As I mentioned, the virus has affected the whole season of May. Grand Prix is cancelled, Classic Grand Prix is cancelled, and the Cannes Film Festival is either cancelled or postponed. Theodore, I'm in my last year in school to get my OW Unlimited, but now starting to think of starting yachting after school. How many years would you say it will get to first officer job on a yacht? Theodore, that really depends on your experience. It really depends on the size of yacht you're going to be working on and how you enter the industry, your first job on board. But it can take, if you're going OW Unlimited already, probably a few years. I'm guessing in order to get there, you have bridge experience on the bigger ships. Again, it's subject to the boat, the management company. Every vessel is run differently and they all have their own different requirements. Are below deck and below deck med realistic in your opinion? I did a review on this, Tom. So you can watch that video. I reviewed Below Deck. However, this video cannot be seen in the US or Canada because of copyright infringement, because I use clips from their videos. You know, some of it's real and some of it's not real, to be honest with you. For example, the captain doesn't choose the crew on Below Deck, where in reality the captain will choose the crew. And it would appear that the crew, a lot of them don't have any experience. And which, you know, we had one crew member I did a review on. He was dropping the anchor, and it would seem that it's the first time he ever dropped the anchor. Nobody was there supervising him, and it was a very dangerous maneuver. And I'm surprised that the captain allowed that, to be honest. What did he... This is from Dennis. Up to where do you go and explain the safety measures on board for guests? So Dennis, what we do when we have new guests come on board, we sit them down, we do a safety induction, the chief officer and I, and it lasts probably about 10 minutes. We explain to them where the emergency escapes are. We explain to them how to put their life jackets on. We explain to them where their muster stations are. We show them where their smoke hoods are, where their flashlights are, and yeah, other safety procedures like with the water sports, the do's, the don'ts, keep your windows closed. So it lasts for about 10 minutes. Is it possible for anyone to enter the industry given the right attitude and work ethic? Joe B. Joe, you need qualifications before you enter the industry. As I mentioned earlier, you'll need your STCW 2010 basic safety training and ENG1, ideally powerboat level 2, yacht master if you can. If you're going down the engineering route, then an AEC. Have you ever, this is from Sunny, have you ever sailed with your yacht to Southeast Asia, Indonesia? Sunny, I've never sailed to Indonesia, but I would love to. I've seen photos and videos of yachts going there, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So guys, you want your questions guaranteed answer, then check out the super chat. Just bear with me a second, chat. So one of the typically. Right, so we have here. Question from Ralph here. Hi Tristan, if a yacht is used as a charter, how does the schedule of the owner fit in? He can't just say, I want to use it, right? No, you're absolutely right, Ralph. No, normally, our charter season is scheduled way before the season starts. And then what will happen is the owner will schedule his planning around the charters. So he'll say, right, Tris, I want to use a boat for a week in July, 2 weeks in August, and a week in September, for example. And then what I'll do through the planning, I'll say to him, right, the boat's going to be here on this date. We're going to disembark the charter guests, and then bring on the boss where the boat may be at the time. We have a super chat from Amanda. Amanda, you're such a huge support to this channel. I honestly can't thank you enough. A question is, Tristan, what level of summer charter cancellation do you anticipate this year because of economic fallout? Business people will no doubt be reprioritizing the spending and time. So, Amanda, this is a really good question that we've been working on a lot within the industry. I'm not sure if I mentioned last time, but this time last year, AWOL was fully booked with charters. This year, before the COVID-19 epidemic came out, we had 3 bookings, 2 of which was repeat clients from last year. And to get, as a gesture of goodwill, what we've done to give them, a peace of mind, we've done an addendum to the charter contract saying that if they are unable to get to the yacht or have any restrictions during a charter, they will be entitled to a full compensation of the charter fee, or they can move the charter to next season. So the truth is, Amanda, we are, we're not in a good place at the moment, purely because we know May has been written off, and May for us is the beginning of our season. We always do the Grand Prix. We've done charters for the Cannes Film Festival, and we've done also charters for the Classic Grand Prix. So it is a bit of a concern within the industry. Unfortunately, a lot of crew are losing their positions on board. A lot of management companies, but not a lot. There's one or two management companies who are asking crew to leave. I would say, to be brutally honest, the frustrating thing is the management companies aren't lowering their fees to the owner, but they're firing the crew instead, which I think is personally wrong. What I think should be happening is the management company should be lowering their fees, and the crew should take in some cases, a reduction depending on the yacht. In our case, we're very lucky. The boss has kept us all on with our salaries, and he's just saying to me, take it day by day. So yeah, Amanda, that's where we are at the moment. Appreciate again, Amanda, for your super chat. Again, guys, if you want a guaranteed answer to your question, do check out the super chat. And ideally, I prefer to be answering questions for guys looking to get into the industry, yacht crew or existing yacht crew. Any questions? It's a good question. John Jenkins, what's it like to change to a yacht that is much larger? Do you have a breakdown cruise? Good question, John. So normally what happens, let's say, for example, AWOL gets sold and then my boss buys a bigger boat. The crew and I, in an ideal world, will go on board this boat, and then the original captain and crew will be there, and then we'll do what's called a handover. Now, the handover can be anything from a week to a month, depending on the size of the boat, depending on the agreement that we've made to the seller, and dependent on the availability of those particular crew members. So ideally, you do a thing called a handover. So the chief engineer, the new chief engineer, will work with the existing chief, and then all departments will then do a handover with those particular heads of department. This is from Vanya or Vanja. I do apologise if I pronounce that incorrectly. Hi, Captain. I have all entry-level certificates for deckhand. I'm applying and sending CV all over 6 months with no response. How to motivate myself not to give up? Thank you. Stay safe. Vanya, I hear you. It is difficult. What you need to understand is there are a lot of green crew out there that all have the same certificates, and there's a lot of competition out there. At the moment, unfortunately, because of the whole COVID-19 thing, it is very, very difficult to find a job, not only for green crew, but for experienced crew as well. So, hang in there. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is, we don't know what's happening with this season. To get a job, most of the time you have to be day working, and a lot of it is unfortunately, it's a right place at the right time. Dock walking is very important. If you don't know what dock walking is, you come to a super yacht capital like, Antibes, you base yourself in Antibes, and you basically dock walk all the ports up the coast, and you hand out your CVs, you speak to, other crew, and you find out if they need, permanent crew, or in some cases, some yachts might need help in shipyards. So they may give you day work, could be 1 day, could be 2, it could be 10, could be 5. It's a difficult one, but don't give up. For the green crew, just sending CVs and joining agencies is probably not enough. You will need to base yourself in a yachting capital. But at the same time, I contradict myself, because where we are now, from as far as I'm aware, there's no jobs going, because everybody's waiting to see what happens for this season. But I do wish you the best of luck. I know what it's like, and I do feel for you. But just keep being persistent, and not just yachts. Look for jobs like I did my first 5 years at yachting companies. You know, because companies will need delivery crew. Companies are looking for people to clean their boats. I know there's a few companies in the south of France, so that could be also a good foot in the door. Got another super chat here from Ian Thomas. Ian, thank you very much. And he's saying, oh, no question from Ian. Just a huge respect for the owner. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, the owner is a top man. And to be honest with you guys, if it wasn't for the owner, this channel would never have happened. Because as you can imagine, the majority of yacht owners want to be private and, you know, not have their assets, you know, shown over the world. But the way, you know, our boss saw it, he sees it as, you know, potentially marketing for the boat, giving the boat a good name. So yeah, no, thank you to the owner and also respect to the owner. Thank you, Ian, for that. Much appreciated. And we had another super chat from which I missed. Sorry, Rudy. So Rudy gave us a super chat. So I appreciate that, Rudy. Thank you very much. Mike D, are you equipped with a stern thruster? Mike D, a real captain doesn't need a stern thruster. No, I'm kidding. No, we don't have stern thrusters. You'll find on the larger yachts they don't have stern thrusters. They don't really work so well. I think even on the big, I'm trying to think now, even on the big cruise ships they don't have stern thrusters, only multiple bow thrusters. MJ Strauss, hi Tristan, as a greenie, would it benefit me if I subscribe to support job Patron? Thank you. MJ, I'm going to be very frank with you, and this is going against my better interest. I wouldn't recommend it at the moment, no. The reason I say that is because nobody is giving people work at the moment. So, you know, hold tight, be patient. We are all waiting to see what happens. But yeah, for now, just hold tight. And then once it's all up again, then if you want to join Patreon, then feel free to. For those of you that don't know what MJ is talking about, we have the Patreon Super Yacht Captain page. So www.patreon.com/Super Yacht Captain. So what I'm doing, I'm mentoring and guiding new yacht crew, you know, along the way to help them get their first yacht job in the industry. What is the most popular food you all served? From Chef Tiny. Chef, we don't really have a most popular food because we have, the truth is, so what the way it works, we have guests from, we have chartered clients from all over the world, and you know every client has their preferences, their food preferences. So what happens is we send out a preference sheet to the client. We ask the client and all their guests to fill it out individually, asking them, you know, any likes, all their dislikes, any allergies, and you know, just to say, just so the chef can prepare himself of the type of menu he can put together. So then what would happen is then we receive the preference sheet, the chef will put the menu together for that, say it's a week charter, and then send it to the client sometimes beforehand. They send the approval. And then what then the chief stew would do is an hour before lunch and dinner, she'll put the menu out on the table so the guests can see. And if there are any changes they want to make, they can make it, you know, in enough time for the chef to get it ready for them. Seafish, European season 2020. It will happen, in your opinion? Seafish, I don't know. I'm very optimistic. I think it will happen. I think it'll be late. You know, a lot of people have been saying that the season will start late, but then it will finish later as well. You see, well, I disagree with that. The reason I disagree, it will finish later. I agree it'll start later. The reason I disagree it will finish later is because either way, the kids will go back to school in September. So in our case, the majority of our charter clients are families. So normally we see, you know, our season starts in May and then, you know, it then dies off beginning of September. And we do get like couples that come in September. But you know, really July and August when the kids are on vacation, it's when it's our busiest time of the year. But yeah, no, I'm optimistic. The season will start. It's going to start later. It's going to be short, and when it does start, we just have to make the most of it and hope that, from an economical point of view, that the people are in a position to charter. Because, as you know, a lot of companies are losing a lot of money, and so it's a very difficult time at the moment. Paul Knight, hi Tristan, I realised that smoking is usually not allowed for the crew, but are the guests allowed to smoke in a particular area? So Paul, yes, we have smoking areas for the guests on the so on the bridge deck, on the all decks, on the exterior. We do have ashtrays for the guests. We're not a huge fan of guests smoking on board because, as you can understand, when we're cruising, there's obviously going to be a bit of wind, and then we get the ash that goes everywhere. But it doesn't damage the boat, but the deck teamers have to clean it all the time. So non-smokers are preferred. Again, guys, guaranteed answers. Check out the super chat if you're interested. Much appreciated. Angus McClay, is the owner of AWOL looking for a new yacht? So Angus, at the moment we're not actively looking for a new yacht because we need to sell AWOL first. Once AWOL is sold, then we'll start looking for a new yacht. Hey Tristan, did your weekly, monthly views go up ever since the outbreak of the virus? Actually, Ivan, I would say the views have gone up because I've been posting a lot more videos. In the last 2-3 weeks, I think I've posted more videos than I ever have done. And I think the viewed rate has gone up because of that reason. But apart from that, I think that's the main reason. I can't really tell, to be honest. Adam Smith, hey Tristan, want to know if a lot of guests... Sorry, Adam, there's only one part of your message there. Brian, have you ever considered being captain on a sailboat? Brian, I have not. The reason why is because I'm not a huge fan of wind. It puts me in a bad mood when it's windy. Philip, where does AWOL hire crew from? We've hired a crew from all over the world. We've had, I think we've had Croatians, we have Cubans, South Africans, English, we've had French, we've had Australians. Who else we've had? We had Spanish. Yeah, so we hire from all over the world. What is the most popular sea toy for guests on board? The kids tend to love the sea bobs and the jet surfs. The older guests tend to more like the SUPs, which are the stand-up paddle boards. Around what size is the owner or planning of upgrading, and would it be another San Lorenzo or a different yacht builder? Hayden. I think he'll move up to something like a 50 meter. I don't think it'll be a San Lorenzo because we want to move up to more of a steel boat. And I think it'll be more expedition, like a real expedition type yacht, not a want-to-be expedition type yacht. That's what I'm trying to push him towards because I feel there's a lot more potential out there than just staying in the Med. Don't get me wrong, the Med is stunning. I love cruising the Med. But from a captain's point of view, I think there's so much more to see. And I think the season would last longer with a more of an expedition type vessel. Hi Tristan, do you a service to chart your course between ports? Do you a service to chart your course between ports? From Ken. So Ken, no, what we have on board, we're ICTIS, we're ICTIS compliant. So yeah, we do, when we plot our course, we do berth to berth on ICTIS. So we do the passage plan, and then obviously we do our weekly updates on notices, the weekly notices to mariners, and the passage plan before we leave port needs to be uploaded to our online system that goes to the management company. Note to Tristan's boss: have Tristan buy you a bottle when subs reach 100k. Cheers all. John, come on, surely the owner should buy me a bottle, because I'm giving his yacht so much free marketing and so much awareness on social media, right? What I tell you what, guys, let's do a quick vote. Who thinks if a channel gets to 100,000 subscribers, should I buy the owner a bottle of champagne, or should the owner buy me a bottle of champagne? So if you want me, you just write Captain. If you want the owner, just write owner. Christopher Hodson has asked, how are you getting on with 10K's like for the Axopar weekend? Not good, Christopher. We're at like 6,500, 7,000. So guys, if you haven't watched that video, go and watch it. It's the Axopar video, and they said if we get 10,000 likes, they're going to loan me one of their boats a weekend to vlog and to experience to give you guys the whole experience. So LR Gang has said, owner buys you. Thank you. LR, I like you. I agree with you. Is the owner planning on keeping my Lizzie, or is she? So Lizzie Hayden is also for sale, but it's been for sale for a long, long time. But he's not really pushing the sale. I think secretly he's got he wants to keep it. Right. So we've got. Let me write this down here. I've got a pen somewhere. Bear with me, guys. I think I get a pen out of my pen box here. I'm going to see how many votes that we've got here, because you guys are voting. Let's see. Let's write this up. So we got owner, and captain. So we've got owner 1, captain 1, owner, captain. Someone said another owner. So Mo looks like the owner. I'm going to screenshot this and send it to him. Neil has also said owner. Got another captain here. It's mostly owner. I don't need to write this down, guys. Thank you, guys, for your support. In fact, I'm going to do a screenshot. Just bear with me, guys, so he can see this. And I'll send it to him. Yeah, actually, maybe when we get to 100,000 subscribers, we'll do another live stream, and yeah, just answer all your questions as well, and maybe have a bit of a party together. What do you reckon, guys? Get the champagne out. Captain should get a bottle from the owner. Thank you, Amanda. You're always on my side. Gordon says owner buys for you. Marketing expense fully deductible. Thanks for answering the question about Lizzie. You're welcome. John Clark has said the fiance. So Jiv, you're buying the champagne apparently when we get to 100,000 subs. We should give each other a bottle. Jan, I like that. Very diplomatic, Jan. We should give each other a bottle. Then we can both have a bottle each. But you should take the owner out for a coffee, because you can do that. You do what you wish. No, the owner and I, we got a great relationship. We always have banter with one another. Hi Tristan, will my experience on a river cruise ship help me getting a job on a yacht? Because most things that are done are familiar to me. Yeah, absolutely. Any experience really on any boat is going to be beneficial, because you're going to know, the basics really. So it's definitely going to be a benefit for you without doubt. David Dillon has done a super chat. Thank you very much, David. Guys, if you want guaranteed answers, please do so. Ask your questions on the super chat. Michael has said owner buys the captain. Thank you, Michael. LR Gang has said, let's make a GoFundMe page and buy the most expensive bottle for a trip. That's very kind of you, LR, but it's definitely not necessary. I'd rather you do a GoFundMe page for something a bit more, important to help somebody. So, David Dillon, if you've got any questions, let us know. This is from Ricardo. For the engine department, what is the minimal rank request do you think that a third officer can enjoy on a motor yacht? So in our case, on Motor Yacht AWOL, you need to have a Y3 certificate or equivalent. That is the OW, SCCW. I think it's the 3-2. You need to have the 3-2. David, it did not post my question, which was, how do you determine how to set the alarm for dragging? I'm not on a yacht team member, just interested in the field. So, David, good question. We do it a number of ways. So we do a radar setup on the 2 radars, but the main alarm comes from our anchor alarm on the ECTIS system. So we post a radius on the ECTIS. It's basically, you click on a thing called anchor alarm, and then you put a radius allowance of where you allow the vessel to swing in. So we put in the data, we put in the amount of chain that we let out and the depth of water just beneath the keel. And from there, it actually can calculate it for you automatically, or you can put it in manually. And then what happens is, if the vessel goes out of that radius, the alarm will sound on the bridge. Good question. David Rodriguez, after your review of Below Deck, which I did not know existed, I spent 4 days in a row watching like 8 chapters a day. I really enjoyed it, so thank you. You're welcome, David. Please send an email to Below Deck and tell them that that you found out about them because of the video that I did, so they can take the copyright claim off that video so the US followers can watch it. Erica. Hello, Erica. Erica's been on once or twice before. Give AWOL's owners a greetings from Sweden. We will do that. Give him a greeting and tell him he's a good guy and a good employer. Does he read comments on your channel? He's a very busy man. I very much doubt that he reads comments on the channel. Can you make a video in deeper look of different yacht types? Expedition, blue water, ice breaking vessel, and blue. That's Peso. I love to do that. It's gonna be very difficult for me to do because I don't have the access to those yachts. The better person for that is going to be the David Seal channel, the Yachts for Sale channel, and possibly Aquaholic as well, Nick from Aquaholic. So guys, good news is Cruise Stories is coming back next week on Tuesday, I think at 3 p.m. Paris time. Jared Watney has done a crew story for us. It's unreal. He's done a really good job. A lot of you probably don't know this, but he had a piracy scare off the east coast of Africa, and he tells the whole story. So that'll be coming out on Tuesday. So be sure to tune in. It is an amazing cruise story. And then last week, I think it was, or the week before, we did David Seal's cruise story of how he became the world's most famous super yacht broker. If you haven't seen that one, check that one out because it's a great story. He started off as a window cleaner in Wolverhampton and then became this huge success in the super yacht world. Couple more super chats coming here. Thank you very much. One from NP. Best family managed 78-foot yacht with 4 cabins. The longest range, the better. Oh, family managed 78. That's quite a big size just not to have any crew on board. NP is a very good question. What would I recommend for 78-foot long range? It's really difficult to say. I'm guessing, I think the Nordhavens seem to do very good. But again, NP, it's hard for me to give you an opinion until I've physically been on those boats. Again, I would recommend speaking to David Seal from Yachts for Sale. Send him a message probably on Instagram. He will probably lead you down the correct path. I'm really sorry I couldn't give you a better answer. It's very hard for me to say. This is from, I can't pronounce this, another super chat, Apont. My reasons for joining the raffle, 20% 1 week luck trip, ASAP meeting Tristan. This money is for the wedding. That's very kind of you. Don't know what to say really, but I'm humbled by that. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Jerry said, how frequent are these online chats with you? So Jerry, as we're in isolation, more frequent than usual. I think up until this point, up until the coronavirus isolation, I think I've done a total of 2 or 3 live streams in the last year and a half when I started the channel. So also quite restricted with content for you guys. So I just think, you know, to keep you guys engaged, and I'm sure a lot of you at home looking for things to do. So happy to answer your questions. John Bonnell, how long does it take to enter port, tie up, fuel up, get rid of trash, and get back to open water? Can this be done in 2? John, it depends how much you need to refuel on AWOL, you know, and it also depends on the fuel rates at the fuel pumps, how much they can deliver every minute. I would say for us, it takes probably around 3 hours on your average fuel pump, but it can vary port to port. And in some cases, you get the fuel trucks that come. What I suggest you do is we did a video called Refueling a Super Yacht. Go and watch that video. It's very interesting. It talks you through the process of how we refuel Motor Yacht AWOL. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to say, if you guys want some cool merchandise, then check out the merch shelf below and get yourself a Crew Stories t-shirt or Super Yacht Captain t-shirt. We've got mugs, all kinds of fun stuff. And you know, what I would really love, if whoever's getting merchandise, because I've made this request quite a bit. You know, a lot of people are buying merchandise and are asking to take a photo with it, because I'd love to post it onto our social media platform, but nobody seems to want to. So guys, if you get merchandise, please take a photo with it and send it to me. What's the worst problem or breakdown have you experienced on AWOL? I think actually, what was the worst thing that happened? I want to say it's we haven't had anything major. What we did have, we had a plastic bag that got sucked up into the raw water intake for the port side main engine, which then obviously started to cause the engine to overheat. But we managed to catch it in time to shut the engine down. And yeah, basically we had to, I was trying to think, it was the deckhand went over the side, Swan got the goggles on, put his hand up the intake, and then pulled it out, and then came back on board, started the main engines, and then no, the engine had to prime it again. We had to prime it, fill up with water, prime it, start the main engine, then we're on our way. Does AWOL have the system Skyhook? That's from Mike. Mike, I am so sorry. I don't know what Skyhook is. Is there another name for it? Paul. Hi Tristan, is there a process for yachting similar to aircraft flight planning before each voyage? Yes, Paul. It is called a voyage plan. And we follow a thing called APIM. It's an acronym for Appraisal, Planning, Execution and Monitoring. So we have to go through a full checklist, which is part of our what's called the ISM, International Safety Management. And I can talk to you about this for hours, but yes, we do have something similar. Yeah, so for the people asking that they can't watch the video I did about the TV series Below Deck, because I use clips from the series, the US and Canada have put a copyright claim on it, so it can't be viewed in the US or Canada. If anybody here is part of Below Deck and can lift that, it'd be much appreciated. Question from John: do crew contracts last one season? Are there any crew changes this year? John, so every contract is different. You have a thing on commercial vessels like ours. You have a thing called SEA, which is a Seafarers Employment Agreement, which is basically means it's MLC certified, the Maritime Labour Convention. And every contract is different. It depends on what the agreement is. Maybe you have a contract from say May until October just for the season. Some crew have a year-long contract. Some crew have a full-time contract. It really, really depends. And are there crew changes this year? Yes. So the crew change we've had, for those that know, Barbara's now moved on to other things. And Jason, who was our deckhand last year, and he won the deckhand award of the year, has been moved up to the chief officer position. He's doing really well so far. We're really happy with him. And so yeah. Skyhook is GPS anchoring system from Mercury. No, we don't have that. Justin has said he is able to see the video, and he is in Alaska. That's interesting. Hayden has said, where shall I send pictures once the hoodie arrives? So Hayden, what I suggest you do, you send it to me on the Super Yacht Captain message boards, you know, the private message, or you can send it on Instagram DM on Instagram. Just remember, guys, you want any questions guaranteed answer, then check out the super chat. For those that already know, is we have the competition happening. You can win an all-inclusive week vacation on board Motor Yacht AWOL. All you have to do is click on the link in the description, the raffle link, and follow the instructions. Have you ever experienced any problem with anchor chain? Seem to be very difficult in yachts. The only issues we have with anchor chains, David, is when we're going into port and all the yachts need to drop their anchor when they're doing a Mediterranean moor. Places like Saint-Tropez. Other places we got caught was, where were we? We were in Croatia, south of Dubrovnik, in a place called Cavtat. And what had happened is we came in a bit later, and I'm trying to think what happened actually. We were there first. Other yachts, what happened, had come in and placed their anchor over ours, and we had to leave, and then we had our anchor caught around their chain. So then what we have to do, we put a line around our anchor, tie it onto the boat, then loosen the tension off the chain, pulling the anchor up, then releasing the other vessel's chain, and then we put it back down again, under the line, and bring the anchor back on board and lock it in place. What happens if AWOL will be sold before raffle ends? That's a good question, MP. And what will happen is the raffle will move over onto the new yacht, the new, bigger and improved yacht. So you might actually get a bigger yacht for the same price. Mike Feely, hey, you skipped my question. Mike, I'm getting so many queries. So Mike said, what are the ranks and rank insignias of private crew? Thank you. It depends on the size of yacht. It depends on whether it's private or commercial. In our case, we have captain, chief officer, chief stew, second stew, chef, chase boat captain, deckhand, and chief engineer. Joe B has asked, is the engineer on duty in the engine room every time you hit the open waters? So what will happen when we starting the main engines and the generators and bring the boat to life, ready to go to sea or ready to lift anchor? The engineer will be inside. He'll do all his necessary checks before the startup. Then he'll call me the radio and say, Tris, I've done the necessary checks, ready to start main engines, start the main engines. He will check everything. He'll stay in the area for probably the first half an hour, 45 minutes while we're cruising. And then for us, our engine room doesn't need to be manned. In a lot of the bigger yachts, they have manned engine rooms, but in our case, they don't need to be, because we get all the alarms and whatnot on the bridge. We have repeaters on the bridge. Seldon, do anchor chains and AWOL have real shackles for safety or just painted? So it's a good question, Seldon. We only have painted sections every shackle. For those who don't know what a shackle is 27.3 meters. I should know this. So 27.3 meters. Question from Stephen Hunt. Have you ever encountered a loose shipping container in open water? I understand it can be a problem. Thanks. Fortunately, Stephen, we've never encountered a loose shipping container in open water. It can be a problem. I know I've heard of yachts that have had impacts of them and caused some serious damage, but knock on wood, we haven't had that happen to us. Tom, any idea what manufacturer and size yacht the owner's looking to replace AWOL? No idea at the moment, Tom. Do you think anybody chose a yacht for self-isolating through COVID-19 pandemic? I think, yeah, I've heard of yacht owners that are in isolation on board their vessels. I'm not sure how many. So guys, just remember, if you want guaranteed answer, then please do check out the super chat. Paul here has asked, do you ship to New Zealand? No, Paul, we don't. We stay mostly around the Mediterranean. The reason we do that is because of where the high charter rates are in the summer season. Mike Feely has asked, what is the weirdest thing you have encountered at sea? Tell you what has happened to us. I told this story, I think, when was this? On another live stream, not on this live stream, on another one, I think for Denison Yachting. We were on, it was probably, how long ago was this? Probably about 15 years ago. We were on it's like a 23 meter Princess, and we were taking it from the south of Spain a place called Porto Banús to Morocco. And as we were entering Moroccan territorial waters, there was a Moroccan naval ship just off our starboard bow, probably about 5 cables, half a mile, and they had a cannon on the front. And we were cruising. They were stopped in the water, and we were cruising, and we were going to go straight ahead of them, no problem. We were on the VHF channel 16, and all of a sudden, in front of us, we see these splashes of water coming up, pew, 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 pew. And we're like, oh my God, we just realized this naval ship has just fired its cannon, I don't know, about 500 meters in front of us. So we're like, holy crap. So we stopped the engines immediately, we're going to neutral, and we're waiting on standby for the naval ship to do something or to call us on the radio. So we're waiting. Nothing happens. And we're looking at binoculars. There's nobody on deck. And then we're like, okay, what are we going to do? And then we decide, okay, well, let's go around them. So we go very slowly around them. We go around their stern, and we're looking and we're waiting on VHF channel 16. Nothing happens. Still nobody on deck. We go behind them, and then we continue our route slowly picking up speed, and then nothing happens. We made it to our destination, but it was the most bizarre experience I think that's happened to us, having a naval ship fire their cannon multiple times. It was exactly like the movies where you see the splashes of water coming up. So you can imagine it was a very scary experience. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break just to fill up my tea mug, and then I'll be back in 2 minutes. So just chat amongst yourselves. James is going to be here to answer some of your questions. So I'll be with you in 2 minutes. Right, and we are back. Thanks for waiting there, guys. Mike with one for me, please, Tris. Oh, milk with one for me, please, Tris. Very funny, James. James, you're usually a comedian, you know that. Okay, guys. Yep. No, Hayden. No alcoholic mug today. No, not today. Actually, Hayden. This one's got alcoholic-free mug. Selden. Last live chat there was lights on the fireplace, but none today. Was it a special event? No, it's just I think it's brighter today, isn't it? Don't need the lights on, guys. Okay, question from Owen C. Hi Tristan, quick one. Do your guests of AWOL owner mind you vlogging? Is confidentiality about location actually not important during charters? What does a yacht owner think of your vlogs? Good question, Owen. So the reality is yacht locations, anyone, anywhere in the world can locate any yacht through AIS. So in those circumstances, it doesn't really matter. We don't vlog with the guests that don't want to be on the camera, so we make sure they're protected. And the owner loves it because you remember AWOL is a charter yacht. So we're giving the yacht more exposure. We average, I think the channel at the moment, I'm really grateful, it averages over 1 million views every single month. So imagine how much traffic we'll get thanks to the channel. So he thinks it's great. I don't understand why other yacht owners don't do it. I understand the private yacht owners, but for charter yachts, it doesn't make any sense why they don't do it, because as a charter yacht, you can still access photos of the yacht. There's still videos of the yacht. So why not do something like we're doing and help promote, more charters? But I think slowly but surely the yachting community is coming around to a bit more to social media. There's a lot more platforms out there doing it. And yeah, final question. Yeah, the owner loves the channel. He loves the vlogs. He thinks it's fantastic, and I'm very grateful that he's supportive. James Eglinton has said, "Tell us a joke, Tris." Oh my god, I'm not a joking kind of guy. Got an old classic one. Horse walks into a bar. Barman says, "Hey, what's with the long face?" Sorry, James, I'm terrible. That's why I'm a captain, not a comedian. Christopher, I'm with you guys. Let's get 10,000 likes to the active par video. We're at 6,500 guys. Only 3,500 more to go, and we get that active par weekend. John, the sculpture of the girl on AWOL, how much would a thing like that cost? So, John, what I suggest you do, the name of the artist is called Bruno Catalano. And then just go onto his website, then you can see the prices from there. Because I can't, to be honest, I can't remember off the top of my head how much it costs. So Bruno Catalano, Catalano. Devco has written, Tristan, according to you, do you first get a job then visa, or first you need to make your visa and then find a job? I'm speaking about European Mediterranean visas for non-Europeans. Devco, it's always going to be more beneficial for you to have a visa before the job. The reason we say that is because if we had a choice as captains, the ones that don't have visas is going to cause us more headaches, unfortunately, but that is the truth of it. So try and get a visa beforehand if you can. There are a number of boats out there. I've helped lots of crew over the years with visas, but it's a tricky one because it puts more admin on the captain and the management company. Bharat, hey there. Are there many female captains in the industry? There are female captains, but unfortunately, it's predominantly male dominated. But as the years go on, there are more and more female captains, like Captain Sandy from Below Deck, for example. Neil, is the cruise story 2 p.m. UK? So Neil, yeah, the cruise story will be 2 p.m. UK time. So it'll be GMT +1 on Tuesday. So for you guys that are just joining us, we very happy to say we had Jared Watney. If you don't know who Jared Watney is, he's got his own YouTube channel, so go and check him out. He's done a cruise story for us about how he was chased, believe it or not, he was chased by pirates off the east coast of Africa. Really interesting, scary story. I'm looking forward to you guys watching that because I probably watched it 2 or 3 times. I go back and listen to it again. It was really interesting. And I'm going, have you heard of Latitude Yachts? I think I've heard of them, yeah. I don't know much about them. Ruben has asked, ever crossed the Atlantic? Quite interesting, actually. We had a discussion last summer, Ruben, with the owner and with our charter agent from IYC in Monaco, trying to work out the cost of getting the boat to the Caribbean and back to the Med again the following year. and to how many charters we need to do. And what we calculated, in order just to cover the cost, we had to do 6 weeks of charter, and nobody is going to guarantee that. And the owner was like, I'm happy to do it, but we need to cover minimum the costs. And unfortunately, because we couldn't guarantee that, we couldn't take the boat over to Caribbean, which we were really hoping to do. So yeah, no, we haven't. Maybe next year, see what the owner wants to do, depending on what happens with this 2020 summer season here in the Med. Okay, apparently, guys, we have a birthday boy amongst us. So a big happy birthday to Mike from Ashlyn Roselle. Is that Roselle? Ashlyn? Happy birthday, Mike, and hope you're having a wonderful day. You're probably in isolation, but get yourself a glass of champagne and some birthday cake, and enjoy it. Happy birthday. Don Shaw, cheers, much appreciate it. You've been a good advocate for the channel, being a great support and a great follower and a great fan of the channel, so really appreciate it. Thank you. This is from Guido. Hi Tristan, underway you always need to run generators. Engine alternators is not enough like on small boat. No, so we gotta understand, it's like the bigger boats, they're running a lot bigger systems, like things like stabilizers, they consume a lot of power. Air conditioning consumes a lot of power. I'll be quite surprised if on the smaller boats that the alternators also run the air conditioning. Remember, we've got the big galley fridges, the big galley freezers. We've got all the water pumps. Unlike smaller boats, our water pumps are 220 volt. The smaller pumps tend to be DC power, either 12 or 24 volt. So yes, we're always running the generator. Whenever we're not plugged into shore power, the generators are running. Cedric. Hi Tristan, when the constructors says 15 crew, is it mandatory that there is 15 crew on board, or is it the captain's choice? So Cedric, the builders of the yacht don't decide how many crew it must carry on board. That is decided by the flag state. We'll have what's called the flag state, is the country to which the vessel is registered. And what will happen, a surveyor from the flag state will come on board, survey the vessel, and then the flag state will issue a thing called a safe manning document. On that safe manning document, it stipulates the number of crew you must have on board and each qualification that those particular crew members must have. Amanda, need to go now. Husband needs feeding. Until next time, Tris and James. Amanda, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. And let's hope we can get back out on the sea soon, eh? Jens has asked, how big will the next boat be? We are estimating around 50 meters. The next boat. Happy birthday, Mike, from Joe B. Nelson, hello. How easy will be to buy a new vessel if you're not looking for a new one at the moment and just waiting to sell AWOL? What's the average time between the financial operations? That's a good question, Nelson. It really depends on the seller. It depends on the buyer. It depends whether or not you're waiting for finance. It depends on where the vessel is in the world, because you might have a place of delivery. So all these factors need to be taken into consideration. It also depends on the condition of the vessel and the length, the time that is needed to do the pre-purchase survey, and to go through all the paperwork, things like all the certificates, so class certificates, flag certificates, and so on. So it really does vary. So I can't give you, an exact timeline. Have you ever piloted AWOL with a few drinks in you buzzed? Never, never. If I was to have one drink in my system and something happens, I will lose my license. I will be fired from my job, and my career I've worked for the last 18 years will be out of the window. So there's not even a discussion about it. Any potential of selling AWOL from Jay? Jay, so no, as you can imagine, given the circumstances, there's zero interest in AWOL at the moment. The whole yachting brokerage, sales brokerage world, I think is pretty much at its knees. Mike, you got another birthday message from Christopher. Is AWOL planning to attend any boat shows this year? No, AWOL won't be attending boat shows, but me personally will be attending boat shows to create videos for the Super Yacht Captain YouTube channel. Will the new vessel have azipods? From Joey. That's a good question, Joey. Chances are probably not, but never say never. I would say probably conventional shaft drives. If you can say who is the most famous person or group of people who have had on AWOL, that's from Tay. Unfortunately, Tay, I can't say, but it is a individual that is known by, well, the brand, should we say, is known by everybody across the world, and I mean everybody. Is the owner not considering a new yacht? That's from Gibbs. So no, we would never. The owner would never buy a new yacht. It doesn't make any sense for us. He prefers, like we do in AWOL, to buy something that's a bit older, a bit run down, and fix it up and do it ourselves and turn it into our own. Because the depreciation on yachts, on new yachts, is just ridiculous. They say, I don't know if you guys watched yesterday. I did a live stream with David Seal from Yachts for Sale, and his words were that new yachts in the first year depreciate by up to 30%. So this doesn't make any sense because the usage is the same. So why would we spend all that much more money when your use as the owner is going to be exactly the same, even though the boat's a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 older? So guys, guaranteed answer to super chat questions. Thank you. Okay, so from Paul. Hi Tristan, what are your thoughts on comparing a San Lorenzo SL96 with a similar size Sunseeker or Princess? So Paul, the truth is I've never worked on a Sunseeker. The last time I was on a Princess was 15 years ago, and I only give my opinion when I physically have been on board the yacht. I've seen the yacht, I've seen the build of the yacht. I can't give my opinion otherwise because I don't have any experience with it. Hi, what's the approximate value of AWOL now in relation to the purchase price? I.e., what's the typical depreciation on a super yacht? Thanks, love the channel, Dave. Well, AWOL's actually from 2009. I knew she was about 17 million euros. So I think the asking price now, 8.9, is I would say 9 million euros for AWOL is around the right price. It depends on the owner, how desperate he is to sell it. Is he willing to take a hit on it? And at the moment, he's happy. And like I said, with the current situation we're all in at the moment, we've got nobody wanting to come see AWOL for potential buyers. Joshua, do you have any idea of day work opportunities when quarantine is over? Joshua, all I can say is, make sure you're in a yachting capital like Antigua, for example. You're doing dock walking up and down. You're going to the shipyards, and you're talking to everybody. We don't know what's going to happen and the day work availability at this stage. Stephen Hunt, Steve's got a good question here. Do all yachts have a maximum list angle rating, and how is that determined? Stephen, yes. So let's take it for account now. Let's talk about UK flag vessels, which are coded to the what's it called? The Red Ensign Yacht Group, which is basically the MCA, the Maritime and the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. And in that book, they say maximum angle of lull is going to be 7 degrees. If it goes over 77 degrees, the captain must abandon the call for the abandoned ship. But this is then also determined within the ship's stability booklet. So when the vessel is being built, the naval architect and the builders will put together the ship's stability booklet. We've got a super chat from Neil. Hello, Captain from Iowa, USA. Hello, Neil. Considering all the beautiful places you've been to, where do you think you will retire? P.S. Go Hawks. Where will we retire? I don't know. Interesting one. I do have a soft spot for South Africa, the garden route in South Africa. But it can, unfortunately, South Africa at times can be a very unpredictable country. In some cases, it can be a bit dangerous. But I've been there many, many times, and I've always loved it. And my fiance is from South Africa, so maybe one day when we retire, it might be South Africa. But who knows? It's really difficult to say at this stage. Dylan, is AWOL planning on traveling to Turkey or the Greek islands after the current situation? No, Dylan. At the moment, it was seen will be predominantly France, Italy, Croatia, and the Balearic Islands this year, if this year happens. Jag Max David, another quick question. AWOL is 35 meters. Yeah, well, 37. Can you jump into, say, an 85-meter yacht, or do you need more training? So as long as that 85-meter yacht is under 3,000 gross tons, I am qualified to be the captain on that boat, yes. How much is fuel burn of AWOL at cruising speed? So we at 12 knots with the generators running, we burn around 200 litres of diesel per hour. Jay Yud, can you give us what you think happened to the yacht that turned on its side on the news? So Jay, the truth is I don't know what happened. I don't want to give my opinion because I don't have the data or any information. It can be a number of things, and I would just be guessing, and it would be useless information to you guys. Dylan, is AWOL a semi-displacement yacht? Yes, it is, Dylan. Tom, with the cost of new yachts, I'd much rather a nearly new yacht and the refurbished then wait for a build slot. Though I do love new designs like the Benetti 140 Veloce. Cool. So remember, guys, you want guaranteed answer to your question, and check out these super chats. Captain, theoretically, for the future, how open would you personally be to the idea of potential new crew contacting you directly for potential future positions? So normally the jobs aren't posted by me, they're done by the heads of department. They get to choose a number of crew they're interested in, and then they'll narrow it down to 3 or 4, maybe 5 they like, and then from there I will interview them. You know, the truth is, guys, although I'm very appreciative of, you know, how well the channel is doing, we need to realize and understand is, you know, I get on a daily basis hundreds of messages from, you know, aspiring yacht crew, and I can't answer all of them, you know, and, you know, I do apologize for that, but I need to focus on what I need to do. And if there are any jobs out there, we will post them on the correct platforms, like the yachting platforms on social media. So, you know, I get it. I understand you're going to try, but if you're going to message me directly, the truth is you probably won't get an answer because I get the same questions over and over again. So I really hope you guys understand that. Okay, guys, it's now going up to 6:45 French time, so we're going to go for another 15 minutes, and we're going to be calling it quits in at 7 p.m. So, any final questions? Then do it on the super chats. So, Gib, no question, Captain. Just lending you my support, and thanks for the channel. You all stay healthy. Thank you, Gib. Much appreciated. That's very kind of you. Joe B, is there any chance of a fan meet and greet in the future? Where would that be? I don't know. I think, well, as I've been asked this in the past, I don't know if too many people will come, to be honest, because it will probably be in Antibes, because that's more kind of central and local to, you know, where we are in the Med. So anybody, well, actually, anybody here watching, would anybody, once the coronavirus restrictions are lifted, would anybody be interested in a meet and greet in Antibes in the south of France? Let me know. Just write yes if you're interested. Ian Jackson, which Axopar video do you want us to like? As there are a few on your channel. Trying to think which one it is. James, would you mind finding the video of the, you know, the Axopar video we did at the Dusseldorf Boat Show and posting the link on the chat? It's the one that we need to get 10,000 likes. I think it's already got like 6,500 likes. Do you ever get a guest who asks you to plan in its itinerary? So the all itineraries, I plan all the itinerary for the guests. So before a chartered guest comes on board, I put an itinerary together for their duration, and I will send it to them. And then they always say yes, they like it, they want to go ahead with it, or they want to make a few changes, or they want to do their own. But they do their own, and I then do the planning with the itinerary with the client. Somebody is asking if I would do a meet and greet at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. I'm not confirmed that I'm going this year, but maybe if anybody's interested, maybe I can do a meet and greet at Antibes and one Fort Lauderdale. What do you guys think? I just don't think there'll be enough people interested because, you know, everybody's all over the world, so I'm not sure we get enough people together. So actually, no, we got a few for the meet and greet. Would you host a party on AWOL if we came? Guys, the meet and greet will. Okay, let me just confirm that the meet and greet won't be on board AWOL. That is for sure. We'll probably find a bar in Antibes. That'll probably be most appropriate, and then we can all have a drink together and a chat. Okay, guys, just to confirm, the video that we need to like is called "The Boating Revolution of 2020" on the channel, and if that gets 10,000 likes, then we get the weekend on board an Axopar. Get to vlog it all and share it with you guys. Can you tell us the most famous person you captained for? I can't tell you on what I've done AWOL because of NDAs. I can tell you on Lizzie because the NDAs are now expired. We've had one of the band members from Motorhead. I did a cruise story on that. That was good fun. We've also had the singer Pink on board. She was fantastic with her husband. Really, really cool couple. Who else we had? Damon Hill, who is the former Formula One world champion, and a few others as well. Hey Marek, I literally just asked a question for about 15 minutes ago. Per Griff, on a day of transport between locations, what is the max number of hours you go? And is that limited by your work hours regulation or getting guests aboard? So, under MLC, crew are limited to the number of hours they can work, continuously, and they must be given a number of hours per week rest. But we can cruise continuously because we rotate the deck team who are qualified to be navigational watchkeepers as well. So what we tend to do is no guests on board. Say we got a 3-day trip, we have a delivery, we'll do 4 hours on, 8 hours off. Not going to answer that question. It's a bit inappropriate. Do you ever date crew members? I have. My fiance is my chief stew, and we've been together for 9 years. Okay, guys, last 10 minutes now. Let me know if you want a guaranteed answer to your question, and do it on the super chat. Luke has asked again, do you eat the same food as paying customers? Fine dining, for instance, and host captain's party like on cruise ships. We don't really do captain's parties. We do at the end of the trip. We'll do when we're in port. We'll do like a goodbye drink with the guests. So everybody, like all the crew and the guests, will get together, have a glass of champagne, talk about the trip, and exchange some pleasantries. Do you eat the same food? No, the chef cooks separate food than to the guests, but the chef does feed us very well. We do get fed very well. Does day work count as experience when looking for a seasonal position? Yeah, any experience, as I mentioned earlier, any experience does count towards finding your position. Sailing Lagertha. The Adventures of. I'm going to check out that channel afterwards. Actually, not heard of this one. Having just logged on, you have may answer already. What's the status of the yacht and crew? Are there crew remaining on board? So at the moment, the yacht is out of the water in the shed. It is in full lockdown. No crew or guests on board. The crew is still employed. They're at the crew apartment in Pisa, and then we are at the house in France in isolation. Hayden, the wedding's going to be private. How much is the cost a week on AWOL? It's from Ronnie. I'm pretty sure I asked that earlier, Ronnie. Go back and watch from the beginning. Luke Dawson, you're more than welcome. Do guests see captain as an equal rather than a worker? Now that's from Drew. Now, do guests see captain as equal rather than a worker? There's this misconception within the industry. The majority of people that come on board are actually really nice, down-to-earth people. They just happen to be very successful in their business and made a lot of money. And in some cases, in a small percentage of cases of guests that we've had on board, it goes a bit to their head and they talk down to people. All the guests that we've had, fortunately, talk to the crew as humans, as you should. So there we have it, guys. Yeah, Saint Lagatha, I'm gonna check out your channel soon. Jan Thompson, you're welcome. Neil, thank you for everything you do on the channel. Thank you, Neil, for supporting the channel. Much appreciated. Right, for last 5 minutes now, guys. If you want a guaranteed answer, please do ask your question on the super chat. Drew, thank you. Justin, stay safe and healthy, everyone. Cheers, Justin. Gib, thanks for the chat. Have a nice evening. Cheers, Gib. Sailing Lagatha. Your longest non-stop trip on AWOL. We did. Where did we go? We started in the south of France, and we did all the way heading south past Corsica, past Sicily, around down the Messina Straits, around the boot of Italy, up into Montenegro. So from south of France and Montenegro non-stop. I think the longest trip we did on AWOL. Yep. Cheers, Gibbs. Stay safe yourself as well. Joshua, welcome, Joshua. New to the channel, subscribe. Cheers, Joshua. Much appreciated. Joey is asked, how are you staying physically and mentally sane during quarantine? Lol, are you under stay-at-home order? Yeah, we are under stay-at-home. We're very fortunate. We have a beautiful garden outside. Had a lovely barbecue yesterday, just the missus and I. And Mrs. has been gardening today. Tomorrow we got a big job list around the house, so just keeping busy and also doing things like this, these chats. I did a live stream yesterday with David Seal on Instagram. The day before I did one with Jared Watney. So keeping busy that way. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it there now. So if you have any final questions, only on Super Chat. Otherwise, 2 more minutes and we're going to call it. And thank you all for joining me today. Much appreciated. Thank you guys for all your support on the channel. Honestly, it's incredible how the channel's grown over the last 18, 19 months now. And that's because of you all, and I appreciate it. To all the, I just want to say one finally, to all the aspiring yacht crew out there, it is a very difficult time at the moment, but just, hold steady, be patient. This thing will finish. It's going to be later than we anticipated, but stay positive. And, when the time does come, work really hard, do everything you can to find a job, because there will be jobs out there. All right, everybody, take care. All the best. Thanks for joining, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Remember, next Tuesday, we've got Jared Watney's cruise story on how he was chased by pirates off the east coast of Africa. Coming out Tuesday, 3 o'clock Paris time. Cheers, guys. All the best now. Take care.